Dum dum.
This edition of Rage is rated M for mature audiences. It contains adult themes, coarse language, drug references, and sexual scenes.
Hi, we're Suede and we're going to be picking all the music on Rage tonight, so stay tuned for some really bad videos.
Don't touch that dial.
They don't have dials anymore.
All right, don't switch over.
Oh, the Queen will be on soon.
Really? What time?
No flipping.
Excellent.
Hello, wild child.
The first video that I chose was one by Bob Dylan called Subterranean Homesick Blues, and it's like, I think it's one of the few videos I actually like. I think videos generally are rubbish, to be honest. Certainly the videos we make are rubbish. And I think this is kind of actually kind of quite a good video. It's like, it's very inventive for obviously a video that cost about 12 pence to make. And it's one of those things you always remember, and it's been parodied a million times by other people. It's just a guy holding up loads of cards, saying the words to the songs, and some of them are right and some of them are wrong, and it's good. The next video up is by Don McLean, and it's I've never seen the video, so I can't tell you what it's like again, but it's just, I chose it because it's one of my favourite songs ever. It's one of them probably perfect songs. It's beautifully performed and beautifully written, and tells the story of Vincent van Gogh, and it's just a beautiful piece of poetry, and it's possibly one of the greatest songs of all time. So here it is.
Starry, starry night, paint your palette blue and gray. Look out on a summer's day with eyes that know the darkness in my soul. Shadows on the hills, sketch the trees and the
We're going to hear a song by the Red Hot Chili Peppers now called Give It Away. It's one of those real great records, you know, of a decade, I think. It's one of the greatest records of the 90s. And it's a brilliant, perfect fusion of, like, you know, sort of funk and rock. And it's one of the few times that actually works. I think that's like it's one of those things that a lot of people attempt, but a lot of people, it always just sounds really lame. And I think they're a really very musical band, and they've got some great players. I think the bass player is really great. It's a really good song. And the video with them all painted gold is pretty funny as well. I think they always have a laugh with them, with their image and stuff like that. And, you know, I think they're one of those bands that'd probably be quite a good laugh to be in. So here it is. Next song we're going to play is, I haven't really got much to say about it, to be quite honest. It's just, you know, it's by the Beatles. You know, it's one of the best songs ever written. It's called Day in the Life. Here it is. Hello, we're called Suede, and you're watching Rage. Stay tuned.
Next up is my choice of video, and it's David Bowie, Ashes to Ashes. And the reason I like it is because it's the most simple sort of effects they have on it, and you can now actually get them on all sort of high 8 camera. You can get the same effect, and it was. But at the time, it was like the first time anyone would use those sort of effects, and I think it's very good.
State of the art, wasn't it?
State of the art, then, yeah, it was, and all it is a now button you just flick on a high 8 camera.
I think it was actually in terms of videos, which is we're sitting and talking about videos on a video program. It was actually like one of the first sort of really good videos, you know what I mean, that was ever made. And I think the style of it was a precursor to the whole of the style of the 1980s, and I think in those terms alone, it was quite an interesting historical artifact.
It's like the beginning of the end, though, isn't it? It's actually responsible for 10,000 of the world's crappiest videos ever since, but it's actually good.
It's a very good one, so here it is.
It's all right.
Yes, it is. Here it is, Ashes to Ashes, David Bowie.
No, it's not.
Okay, the next video that I have chosen is by Susie and the Banshees, and the reason I've chosen it is because I used to go and see Susie and the Banshees around about the time that Hong Kong Garden was made, but I've never actually seen a video to it, so it'll give me a few nice memories, hopefully. But yeah, I saw them about 15 times, and they were one of my favourite bands of the 70s. So I'm not goth. They're not goth. They became a little bit goth.
Yeah.
They became a little bit gothy. They weren't gothy when this was made.
This is pre-goth, yeah.
But this is pre-goth.
Early goth.
Well, early goth. Yeah. This is before Matt was a goth.
And proud of it.
And proud of it with his white and black fingernails.
I can't wait for my next choice, which is going to be Specimen.
So here it is, and I can't wait to see it. So here we go. Susie and the Banshees, Hong Kong Garden. Right. Okay, the next song up from my choice is going to be the Rolling Stones and Start Me Up. And the reason I chose this one is because at the time they had Start Me Up out, I went to see them, and the first time I ever saw them, and they were absolutely brilliant. It was one of the best gigs I've ever been to, and it was a period when Keith was very cool, and he looks fucking cool in the video, so here it is.
And you're going to hear a song by a band called the Super Furry Animals now, and they're kind of like they're very sort of contemporary band. They're sort of I think they've only had a couple of albums out, but they're probably one of the best sort of like up and coming bands in the UK at the moment. They always seem to push their music and write really good tunes, and this song's called Play It Cool, and it's one of the best of them, and I've spent many an hour dancing around them in my house to this one. It's called Play It Cool, Super Furry Animals.
Next video up is my choice, which is the Chemical Brothers and Let Forever Be, and the reason I chose this is because it's a great video. And it's I quite like the song, but the video is it should win prizes, I feel, because it's a very good one, the best one I've ever seen.
I think they always do. One of the good things about their videos is that they always seem to do really great little films that they don't actually necessarily play the normal games that videos play, which is basically people miming with guitars and all that nonsense. And they just sort of seem to just make these cool little films. That one too, what's it called? Rise, it's Set in Sun, or what it's called. I like that one as well. Which is
the
just
Skeletons, it's good as well.
I didn't like it so much. I
like that.
didn't do it for me. But I think they generally sort of seem to work with people that manage to interpret their music pretty well. And you know, lots of dance music is seen as quite faceless, and it'd be pointless to try and portray them as Elvis Presley or something like that. So they seem to do a good job in it.
Yeah, so it's very good, and so here it is, Chemical Brothers, Let Forever Be.
The next video we're going to be playing is for ABC by the Jackson 5, which is just one of the greatest pop records ever written. I think nowadays people kind of assume that anything that's pure pop, that's that kind of jolly and joyful, is kind of, it is naturally, it has no worth really, and there's a big division between kind of like serious rock music and happy pop, and this is just proof that it doesn't have to be that way. You know, it's a total pop record, but it's also a really great uplifting record. So here it is, ABC by the Jackson 5.
You get lucky, you're learning the game, learning the game.
The next video you're going to see is Murder Was the Case by Snoop Doggy Dogg.
Yes, it is.
It's off-putting, everyone's looking at me now. I can't tell you anything about this video because I've never seen it. It's the reason why I picked it. I really like the song. The song's a remix of something off Doggy Style, and it's a really good song. It's a really good remix by Dr. Dre. But the video is kind of like a short film. I don't think it ever came out in Britain. So if anyone's watching who's got a video recorder, could you tape it and send it to me? So here it is, Murder Was the Case, Snoop Doggy Dogg. The next track you're going to hear is You Get What You Give by the New Radicals, which is a track I just started hearing on the radio last year in London a lot. And it's always nice to come across something that you haven't heard anything about, hasn't been hyped to, you haven't read about, and turns out to be a great song. And it's a very simple song, and the kind of the sentiment behind it, you get what you give, is something you've heard a million times before, but it's just done with real spirit, and there's a real feeling to it. I really like that phrase, you've got the music in you, which he repeats all the way through. There's just something really special about it. So here it is, the New Radicals.